So how do you derive insights from your EHR? So if you've been in health IT, you probably have a lot of data, but then you don't know what to really do with it and how to get all of this data out of the EHR and actually build useful reports. So in this video, we are going to take a look at what the common techniques to do this are and how you can do this pretty easily with, we have a lot of code samples as well. So let's get into it. So the first thing that we need to understand is there are actually two techniques to get data out of a system. So let's say that you have your EHR database here, right? So this is your EHR DB. So the main reason why you can't, the first question might be, okay, why can't I just query this directly? Why can't I just ask questions on this directly, right? So the reason is it's usually serving a lot of traffic. It usually has a lot of load, and then running a query that's like a population level query, for example, will definitely slow things down for everyone else. So you usually don't want to run queries directly on your EHR. And most of the time, the vendors of these EHR don't allow you to do this anyway. They'll probably give you like a copy of the database, or they'll give you some sort of extract access, so you can take all the data and put it in some other place and do what you want with it. So that's what we are going to take a look at. So definitely querying on the database is out of the question. So what you want to query on is another analytical database. So these are usually columnar databases, like for example AWS Redshift, BigQuery, or even the open source ClickHouse, Snowflake. So these are all really good options for analytical databases. So you have another analytical DB that you actually want to query on top of, right? So now how do you move data from here into here, right? So this is where there are actually two techniques. So the first technique is just ETL, which stands for extract, transform, and load. Now what, again, as the name suggests, what you do is you take all of the data from the EHR DB, you extract it, right? Let's make this that arrow became non-existent, but let's actually make this a little smaller. So you extract all of this data, and then you run some sort of transformation before you are actually indexing it inside your analytical database. And again, the reason is you don't want all the data, maybe the data in here is not in the format that you wanted, and maybe it's not suitable for analytics just yet. So you run a bunch of transformations. So you have a transform step in here. And then after you're done with this, let's move this a little bit. You just load it back into your analytical database, right? So you have extract, transform, and load, right? And then you're able to do this all. There's a lot of techniques to do this, but then once you have it in your analytical database, you then run the queries. Now there is a problem with this process, which is anytime you need the queries to change and you don't have the data that you want from the EHR DB, you will have to run the extract, transform, and load process over and over again. And this is usually very common, like the actual question that you want answered changes all the time. So you have to do this multiple times. Now, there is another technique that is pretty recent, I would say, that many other people are doing. In the healthcare industry, it's still ETL, but it's coming up in a lot more places now. So this is called ELT, where you completely get rid of the transform step, and then you just load everything into your analytical database directly, right? And again, this is only possible because of like exceptional increase in the compute power of these analytical databases. So what you can do is you can take the data as it is and then load it into your analytical database, and then inside the analytical database, then you are able to then do all of your transformations, right? So suppose you have unclean data, or you have something that you want to do, you do all of the transforms inside here, transform. Okay, and this is ELT, and then in this video we are actually going to take a look at how you can do ELT, right? It's also very easy to do ETL, but then I think this is a slightly superior technique, especially given that data is cheap today, and having a copy of the data and actually transforming it while you're already in an analytics database also gives you other benefits. You can also see, for example, the lineage of all the transformations that have taken place and so on, right? So let's take a look at what this looks like in practice. So I have a Docker Compose file with me here, and I'm actually just running two Postgres databases. One is running on port 5433 and the other on 5432. I'm just going to run both of these by saying Docker Compose up. And then I'm going to show you what this looks like. So let me just clear this out. And then I'm going to show you PSQL h localhost port 5433. And I think the username is Postgres, so that's the default. And the password is Postgres. So now once you're in here, I just want to look at all of the tables. There's nothing that's found here. I think I did 5433. Oh, sorry. The database is actually health data. This goes into, this directly goes into the Postgres database. So the database that's D is health data, Postgres. And then let's just do DT to look at all the tables. Now we have a patient as well as some vitals here. So let's actually take a look at this. Select star from patients. You can make this a little bigger for you. And we have a bunch of patients in here. And again, let's do the same for vitals. And we have a bunch of vital signs that is populated. Now, again, this was populated automatically. These are just like random data points. Now, what we want is we want to take a copy of this first, and then we want to like extract and then load it into another database. Okay. So here we are again using Postgres as the analytical database, but this can be anything else. It's usually going to be something on the cloud, something that is columnar, something that scales well, but the techniques are going to be very similar. So here's what we are going to use. We will use DLT hub. Again, this is just a simple Python script that will copy data from one place and then put it in another. It's as simple as that. And in fact, we're going to take a look at what this looks like. That's it. Like this is just like 10 lines of Python here. So what we are doing essentially is saying, okay, this is the source, this is the destination. You have a SQL database, take both of these tables, do the copy, and then put them in here. Okay. So let's actually quit this and run the Python script. So before that, just make sure you create a virtual environment and just install the pip install requirements. It's just a few requirements here. So I'm just going to source venv and then just activate the virtual environment. Now, once I'm inside, I'm going to do Python ELT/simple ELT.py. Now this again is going to just run a few things and it's going to say loaded package. It's all done, and it's basically copied all of this onto our second analytics database. And in fact, if we go in here, PSQL h localhost, everything is same except I think the port is 5432 and the database is now called analytics. And then let's look at this, and we see that we actually have the patients and vitals. Along with this, DLT has also created a few tables to keep track of the actual changes that it's made. Okay, so it'll make sure that it's always in sync. You can just run the script again whenever something changes, and it'll make sure that it's in sync. It can also run real time. I think it will be able to listen to the source and then change, like copy it in real time. That's pretty cool as well. Now let's take a look at how we can do the transformations, right? So before we talk about that, we actually need to set up something that can actually do our queries. So for this, we'll be using Redash. It's a BI tool and it's very quick to get started with and install. So we actually have this already set up in our Docker Compose file here. So what we'll just do is say Docker Compose up. And it has a few more extra steps to create the sort of initial DB. So let's just go into Redash and run this again. Let's see. Okay, that's successful. Once that's ready, then just go to port 5005, right? I'm going to go to localhost 5005. Then we have the Redash initial setup. I'm just going to say Siddharth Ramesh, email siddharth@netblocks.com. password, whatever suits you, an organization with blocks, INC setup. Now, once we are in, we need to actually connect our analytics data source. So let's search for Postgres, but then you can also see all of the different options here. You can actually connect any of this to Redash and it'll still work fine. So let's say Postgres, and let's say analytics Postgres. And the host is going to be an internal Docker host. So this works when both the containers are running within Docker. That's the case for us too. 5432, user is going to be Postgres, password is Postgres, and the database name is going to be analytics. Okay. All of this again just comes from our Docker Compose file here where we said the database needs to be analytics. Now all of the data is already copied over, so we don't need to worry about that. Just create, and then let's test our connection quickly, and it works. Now once you're done with that, let's actually create our first query. Now if we take a look at our data here, again, we see that something automatically got created here. And again, that's because I have a transformation script. Now this is part of the transform process. So I'm actually going to drop this first. I think it's just drop materialized view if, yeah, drop materialized view if exists. I'm just going to drop this first. Yep, it returned no data. That's completely fine. And I'm going to explain what this does. So now once we have all of the data in here, we can actually create views and materialize views to transform our data from one format into another. Now this doesn't really touch the data of the source. It just changes it one after the other in terms of like just how it looks like, right? For example, this materialized view, again, I'm not in the analytics schema anymore. So I can just say patients and vitals. So what it does is it starts categorizing the patients and vitals by different categories of age, and then it gives us a particular set of rows and columns. So what I'm going to do is it doesn't need to be a materialized view even, it can actually just be a view. So I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to run it here, and I'm going to say create view. And again, I deleted that. So again, like it's gone now, but create view MV pulse rate as age. So I can just call it pulse rate by age group. And then what we are doing here is we are extracting particular ages from the current date using the patient's date of birth. And then we are categorizing them into different buckets. Okay, that's basically what we're doing. Now let's execute this. And again, return no data, but then it actually created this particular table here. And I can just see select star from pulse rate by age group. Now, once I do this, I actually get a nice view of my data, and I actually haven't done a lot of transformations in the actual data. Now, if you want to persist this as a proper table, you can use a materialized view. But in this case, we are just using a view. And this actually covers the transformation part of what we do. Now, there are a lot of tools that will let you do this properly. So for example, DBT is very popular. I'm just going to show you get DBT. This is super popular, and people usually use this to actually run all of the models and the transformation on these models. So you can take a look at this. But in essence, it's usually just creating a view on top of this data. Now, once you have this, now Redash will let you create a chart. For example, you can just do, let's say we do a pie chart for this, and then the column, let's see. Actually, we need to run a query first. So let's say select star, let's execute that. And now we have all of the results, and then we can say new visualization, and we can say the x-axis is going to be the age group, and the y-axis is going to be, let's say, total readings. Now this is a bar graph. Now we can also make this into a pie chart, and then we got all of the different age groups and how many readings are available for each, right? You can also put this inside a dashboard with multiple other charts and widgets. Now let's just create a new dashboard, and then let's add our widget, and we already have our query showing up. We can just say we want the chart visualization, and there we go. We see our unique patients divided by age group showing up. Now, again, this is just scratching the surface of what is really possible. We took a look at how you can move data around from one database into another, how to use a visualization tool like Redash. I hope you found this useful. And again, we have all the links down below. If you want all of the code, just check that out. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next one.